So hello everyone, this is a short tutorial video about the True Arena. Mind you, this is definitely not the fastest way of doing the True Arena. This is the least riskiest, fastest way, if you want to call it like that. So we're just gonna jump in. Obviously we're gonna be picking Hammer at first. It is the fastest power after all. Now first enemy is Krakow. Now with Krakow what you want to do is you want to stand on that specific block where I'm standing right now, and you want to time our hammer flip. I actually do it incorrectly here. You want to time it the moment the cloud appears. You want to start your hammer flip. That way it'll deal damage. If you miss it, it doesn't really matter. You can just keep jumping up like this and deal damage. You can actually jump through the lasers if you time it correctly, so you don't get hit. Next up we have Krakow Jr. Now Krakow Jr. has two different patterns at the start. He either moves around a lot or he goes straight to the left. I actually get the move around a lot pattern, so you can see how I do that. But if he would go to the left, you can see like the way you deal with that is you just jump up and hammer spin him a bunch. Eventually he'll do a certain attack, and he usually at that point is either one hammer flip or two normal attacks away from dying. What you want to pay attention to here is that I take damage, but it's fine. Like, you can see it works really well. Next up, Lolo and Lalala. Now for Lolo and Lalala, what you want to try and do is always be below them. Right now I spawn like right in front of them, so I just deal as much damage as I can. So you want to stand over here where I'm standing right now, so that you will always at least have one of them below you usually. So you can do this. I usually time it with them being above me, so you can get a good effect. But otherwise you can just spin through them and attack them that way. Now for Kabula you want to try, there are two ways of doing Kabula. The fastest way, like I'm doing here, is just to sit in her face and spam A bunch. If you're a little bit iffy with your health, you can go all the way to the left and try to dodge the Gordos, for instance, because they deal a lot of damage. And this is where I will take a lot of damage. What I am trying to do is be slightly above or below them, depending on her orientation, to try and get double hits. And as you can see, I took a lot of damage. So I'm gonna grab the tomatoes. As you can see, I don't go for full health because you want to get the maximum amount out of your tomatoes at all times. Now for Wispy Woods, I will be doing a hammer spin before I land to deal 1 damage. And then, after the last hammer flip, I wait a little bit for the invincibility frames. Doesn't matter that much, it just loses you about a second or so. So for the mid-bosses, you just deal this amount of damage, usually 2 hammer flips and 1 hit. That depends. But they spawn left, right, and you can use this to your advantage to preload a hammer flip to deal a lot of damage. So yeah, just basically know exactly how much you for every single mid-boss. Then for DDD, you can start off with a hammer flip, and then you just hit him a bunch. And depending on RNG, you do different things. If he attacks you, you go through him. If he starts squatting down, he's gonna jump a lot, so you want to keep hitting him. And at one point he'll start this animation. Depending on how much time you have, you can either sneak in 1 or 2 more hits or a hammer flip like I'm doing right now. But after that you need to instantly go through him with that hammer spin thing. Just stay above him, and then you can have a chance for a hammer flip, and then you just hammer him down. So for Wham Bam Jewel and for Wham Bam Rock in general, what I tend to do is a very, very safe strat. So when you're all the way to the right at first, the hand will always be to the right at that spot. It won't be above you. And then to the left, it won't be above you. And then back to the right, it won't be above you. This creates this strat, and it's really safe and really easy. Just do that, and it's 100% consistent. Now Galactonite is annoying. He has a lot of RNG, and I'm actually in this video, I mispositioned myself a little bit. Yeah, so I need to be a little further to the left. And what you can do here is you can time a hammer flip so that the moment he comes down, you get a hit on him. But I messed that up. So what you want to do is do like 2 hammer flips and a normal attack. And then you just spin him to death here. Now, I actually get horrible RNG on the minions, but the first minion you can always hammer flip down. The moment he goes up, you can just hammer flip and it'll die. And then you just like spend some time trying to kill these. Whenever Galactonite comes down into the middle, you also have a chance for a hammer flip, so you need to learn the timing for that. So like, here for instance, you need to pay attention to that. So with Mark's Soul is RNG at what height, well, just where in general he spawns. You need to, if he spawns lower, you can usually get hammer flips on him. The first one you can only do 1 hammer flip and a normal attack, or otherwise 3 normal attacks. And then you need to get the heck out. I actually get really good RNG. So what I'm trying to do here, because he's so low, I'm just gonna sit inside of him and take the damage because I have a lot of health. As you can see, I get really good RNG and I can just hammer flip him a bunch. So you want to try and do that when he's low. When he's a lot higher, like he's gonna be at the end, you just jump up and hit it. Doesn't take too much effort. For this one, you need, I always just spin regardless of where, you can see where it goes, but I spin regardless. And I do 1 hammer flip. You can time, you can actually time that one. I'm gonna go back a little bit. You can time that one if you do it correctly. So the timing is around when he starts forming himself back into one hole. That's usually the timing I go for. And then you just kill him. So I hope this was helpful. I know I kinda glossed over a few little things, but this is basically how I do my turn and what I pay attention to. So yeah, thank you for watching.